He stopped at a red light that never turns green. Dashcam caught everything at 3:33 a.m. Part 1. The Endless Red. I've always been a night driver, the kind of person who thrives in the quiet hours when the streets are empty and the world seems frozen. Every night, I'd take the same route, passing through the same intersections, the same empty streets. It was routine for me, until one night, something changed. It was around 3 a.m., the kind of time when everything feels too quiet, and you start questioning if anyone else is still awake. I was driving through a quiet intersection, one that's hardly ever busy. The streetlights flickered overhead, and the familiar glow of the traffic signals bathed everything in a soft, artificial light. But tonight, something was different. The traffic light at the intersection was stuck on red. I stared at it for a moment, confused. Usually, this intersection was the kind of place where the lights cycled quickly, even when there were no other cars around. But now, the red light just stayed, unblinking. I didn't think much of it at first. I figured it was just some weird glitch, a quirk of the city's old traffic system. But as I sat there, waiting for the light to change, something else caught my attention. The air felt heavy, thick, almost like it was pressing in on me. I glanced around, but the streets were empty. No cars, no pedestrians, just me and the red light. That's when I saw it. A figure, standing right in the middle of the intersection. I froze, my heart pounding. It was a person. At least, I thought it was. But there was something off about them. The figure was cloaked in shadow, their features indistinguishable, their form almost too still, too rigid. I reached for my dashcam, thinking I was just imagining things. But as my fingers brushed over the camera, I realized it was already recording. I didn't know why, but I felt compelled to drive forward. Slowly, cautiously, I inched my car closer to the figure, my eyes never leaving them. The light still hadn't changed. 3:33 a.m. As I approached, the figure remained motionless, staring into the headlights. I couldn't make out their face, their body, or anything. But it was like they were staring straight into my soul. And then, I blinked. The figure was gone. I don't know how I didn't notice it earlier. But when I looked at the dashcam footage, it was like the person had never been there. The camera had captured nothing but the empty intersection, just as it should have been. Confused, I kept driving, telling myself it was nothing, just a trick of the light, maybe a glitch in my eyes. But the more I thought about it, the more I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The red light stayed on, and the figure, they weren't just a ghost in my memory. I had a feeling I would see them again. Part 2. The Unseen Watcher. The next night, I couldn't shake the feeling from my mind. The encounter at the intersection, the figure that stood motionless in the red light, it all felt too real. My rational mind tried to push it away, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I kept thinking about that moment when I blinked and the figure disappeared. It didn't make sense. I had to go back. I told myself it was just curiosity, nothing more. Maybe I had been too tired. Maybe my mind was playing tricks on me. I'd drive through that intersection again, and I'd prove to myself that nothing strange had happened. I'd see the light change normally, and everything would go back to the usual dull monotony of my late-night drives. But the next night, when I reached that intersection, I felt it again. That same oppressive, suffocating atmosphere. The red light was still on, stubborn, unmoving. I couldn't believe it. I checked the time. 3:33 a.m. again. I almost turned the car around, but something pulled me forward. I wasn't sure what it was. Fear? Curiosity? A mix of both, perhaps. As I rolled up to the intersection, I noticed something different this time. The air felt colder, almost like a winter chill, despite the weather being warm earlier in the night. My breath misted in front of me. My fingers gripped the steering wheel tightly. And there it was again, the figure, standing right in the middle of the intersection. But this time, it was different. The figure was taller, more defined. The shadow surrounding it seemed darker, deeper, as if it were alive, twisting like smoke. This time, my dashcam was already recording, but when I tried to look at the footage, something was wrong. The footage flickered, distorted, as though something was scrambling it. But in between the glitches, I could see the figure's outline. It wasn't just standing still anymore. It was moving. Not like a normal person. The movement was jerky, unnatural, like it was glitching in and out of existence. Each time it moved, the shadows around it seemed to stretch, elongating, distorting the figure even more. The red light cast an eerie glow over its form, making it look even more unnatural. I didn't know what to do. My heart was pounding, my palms sweating, but I couldn't look away. The figure was coming closer now, inch by inch, its movements more fluid, yet still disturbing. I tried to start my car again, but it wouldn't turn over. The engine sputtered, as if something was stopping it from starting. I felt a sense of helplessness. Was I being pulled into something? I couldn't take it anymore. I backed up, foot slamming on the accelerator, until the car jerked back into motion. But the figure didn't move. It just stared at me, unblinking, as I sped away from the intersection. When I glanced back, the red light still glowed, and the figure was gone. But I knew it wasn't over. Part 3. The Fractured Reality. The following days were a blur. I couldn't sleep, couldn't focus, couldn't shake the images of that figure standing in the intersection. It haunted me. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that cold, motionless figure in the red light. And every time I passed that intersection, it felt like something was waiting for me. I tried to tell myself that I was just tired, that my mind was playing tricks on me. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. There was no way it could all just be a coincidence. I couldn't stop thinking about the footage from my dashcam. When I finally managed to sit down and review it, it was even worse than I remembered. The glitches in the footage were strange. More than just a malfunction. They seemed to distort the world around the figure. The traffic lights flickered, the street lights bent unnaturally, and the figure itself, it wasn't human anymore. At first, it seemed like a trick of the light, but as I watched the footage frame by frame, I realized something terrifying. The figure wasn't just standing still in the intersection. It was imprinted there, like a ghostly stain that had been left behind. It was as if it had always been there, forever stuck in that one place, in that one moment. And then, I saw something that made my blood run cold. In the glitchy frames, I saw the figure's face. Its features were blurred, indistinct, but there was something horribly familiar about it. The eyes, though faint, were looking directly at the camera, as if it knew I was watching. I sat back, heart racing. Could it be? Could that thing, whatever it was, have been watching me? Was it aware of me? I had to go back. I didn't want to, but I felt like I had no choice. The need to understand, to uncover the truth, was too strong. And so that night, I found myself in my car again, headed toward that same intersection. I swore I could feel something watching me even before I arrived. The red light was still on, unmoving. And as I drove up, I noticed something even more unsettling. There were no other cars on the road, not a single one. I stopped just before the intersection, unsure of what I was doing. The clock on my dashboard read 3:33 a.m. again. My heart pounded in my chest as I glanced around, waiting for something to happen. Nothing. I thought maybe I was wrong, that my mind had been playing tricks on me all along. But as I looked closer, I saw it. The figure. It was there again, standing in the same spot, facing the same direction. But this time, something was different. It wasn't just an image frozen in time. It was alive. The figure was moving toward me, slowly, deliberately. Its shape seemed to shift and contort as it walked, like it was made of smoke, twisting and bending in unnatural ways. The air grew heavier, colder, as if something was suffocating the life out of the street. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could do was watch as it came closer. I slammed my foot on the accelerator, but my car wouldn't move. The engine sputtered, died. I was stuck. And then I heard it. A voice, faint at first, but growing louder, closer. A whisper. A voice that seemed to come from all around me. A voice that said, "You should never have come back." Part 4. Stuck in red. My hands trembled on the steering wheel, drenched in sweat. I turned the key over and over, but the car wouldn't start. The lights on my dashboard flickered erratically, then went completely dark. Only the dim, crimson glow of the everlasting red light remained, casting long, stretching shadows through the windshield. The figure was closer now. It didn't walk. It drifted, inch by inch, like it was gliding above the road. Its movements jerky and unnatural, like old tape glitching on loop. Its form was humanoid, but incomplete. Limbs bending the wrong way, bones barely hidden beneath translucent skin that rippled with something squirming just underneath. I wanted to scream, to move, to do something, but I was frozen, not with fear, but with something deeper, something primal. I wasn't just scared, I felt claimed, like I had been marked the first time I saw it. This thing had been waiting for me. The voice came again, louder this time, inside the car, yet not from the speakers, not from anywhere. "You saw what wasn't meant to be seen." My ears rang. I clutched my head. The whisper was layered with 1,000 voices, male, female, young, old, like an entire graveyard murmuring in unison. Through blurred vision, I reached for the glove compartment and grabbed my flashlight. With a flick, the beam cut through the darkness, barely. The air seemed thick, as if the very light struggled to pass through it. I pointed it forward, hoping to see clearly, maybe even chase the figure away. But when the light hit it, everything changed. Its face, or what I had assumed was its face, tore open. Not a mouth, but a wound. Rows of teeth spiraled inward, like a tunnel. A sound erupted from that maw, like static tearing through my skull. And in that instant, I wasn't in the car anymore. I was somewhere else. A void. Everything around me had vanished. The intersection, the street, the red light, all gone. I stood in a black, silent landscape. The only thing around me was the figure, floating above what looked like an ocean of black glass. Beneath that surface, faces swam. Familiar faces, mine, again and again. Each one twisted in agony, mouths open in silent screams. I stumbled back. "What do you want from me?" The figure didn't answer. Instead, it reached toward me, not with its hands, but with its shadow. The darkness around it spilled like ink across the ground, spreading toward my feet. I tried to run, but my legs sank into the floor like it was tar. The whispers returned, more violent this time. The red never fades, the loop never ends. I screamed. Part 5. Forever at the intersection. I don't remember how I escaped. 1 second I was drowning in that tar-like void, the shadow reaching into my chest, prying open something that shouldn't be touched. And the next, I was slumped over the steering wheel of my car, gasping for air. Morning light spilled in through the windshield. Birds chirped. Normalcy, like a cruel joke. The dashcam was still recording. I yanked the SD card out, not thinking, just reacting. I drove straight home, every intersection, every red light along the way, turning green before I reached them. As if the road knew, as if it didn't want me to stop. At home, I locked every door, pulled every curtain shut, and loaded the footage onto my laptop. What I saw wasn't what I remembered. The footage didn't show me at the wheel. It didn't show the figure, the light, or the car stalling. It showed someone else, a man who looked vaguely like me, but not quite. He sat motionless, eyes wide, mouth hanging open. The timestamp read 3:33 a.m. over and over, even though the video played for 45 minutes. But then the screen flickered, and my face filled the frame. Not me in the car, not me holding the camera. Me, staring straight into the lens, eyes completely black, lips moving in silent, jerky motion. My voice, or something using it, whispered, "You left the light, but it never left you." I slammed the laptop shut. I didn't leave my apartment for days. I trashed the dashcam, smashed the SD card, disconnected everything. Still, every night at 3:33 a.m., I wake up. Not from a nightmare, from nothing, just awake. A red glow pulses behind the curtains, no matter where I live, no matter how many times I move. And I can feel it watching. Sometimes the footage returns, not in a camera, but in reflections, in mirrors, in black screens. I'll catch my own face whispering silently to me, mouthing words I can't quite hear, yet already understand. I haven't driven at night in months. I walk. I avoid every traffic light. But the red still finds me. Because once you've seen it, once you've been marked, you're part of the loop. And when the time is right, you'll be back at that intersection, waiting forever. Psst. Thank you for staying till the end. If your heart's still beating, maybe it's time to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be waiting here every week with a new nightmare just for you. Remember, in the silence, something always listens back.